All right. Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is John. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm going to be the game master tonight. You've joined Rogue Sparrow Games as we take part in the third session of the Rocklin Clinic Job, our actual play fundraising stream in Cyberpunk Red to support QuelmarCon 2023. With me tonight, we've got three of our lovely players. Sorry, Ty, even you are lovely. Jesse will not be able to join us tonight. Shana Tavata, everyone that is celebrating Rosh Hashanah tonight. But yes. But let's go around the table and introduce the players that we do have with us. Who are you? Who are you playing tonight? And where might players know you from? And let's start with Sam.
Ooh, I got to start. Hello, I am Sam. Trying out she, they pronouns. Sorry, John, I like to mess with you. And tonight I am playing Note, they, them, the deck runner that was not here last week, but still was able to do things. So I'm super excited to get back into the story. You might know me over from Weave the Tale, but I'm over here on Rogue Sparrow Games right now. And this is where I'm happy to be playing Cyberpunk. So I'm just ready to get started because it's been too long.
All right. Ty, you get to be next.
Hello, I'm Ty. People mostly know me from Twitter at the scene at Typhonus. And I'm excited to wind up getting going, and we definitely missed you last week, Sam/Note. You were definitely missed last week. And I am playing Shadow, which is the solo of the group, and also the chaos bringer of landing up throwing audibles at our lovely GM of land up situations that he doesn't plan for. So I'm looking forward to tonight.
Because why would I plan for things?
No.
Well, someone had to make up for Sam's absence of land up bringing the chaos, so I had to do it.
All right, and Shay.
Hello, my name is Shay, and you know me from here, where I play not only Cyberpunk Red, but I also play Pathfinder. And you might have checked out every once in a while. I do some casual cosplay at Shay Jenkins Cosplay on Facebook and also Instagram. And I play JK, which is different from Shay J.
Gotta remember.
She is I know, I make everything rhyme. That was actually not intentional. But she is a tech. She likes to fix things, also cause chaos, and pretty much just make fun of her teammates. So.
All right. So, as Shay mentioned, you will also occasionally find Pathfinder on this. If you were expecting some last Friday, many apologies for that. We just had a lot of stuff going on in the real world. So
life happens.
Life does indeed happen. All right, let me very briefly see if I can reduce the stream settings, because my computer is complaining that encoder presets max performance, right? Yeah. All right, hopefully that will make my computer less angry at me. If you notice any drop frames or anything on your end stream, please do let me know, and I'll see if there's anything I can magically do to fix it. But as I also said, this is a fundraiser to support the Quelmar Realms in-person gaming convention, QuelmarCon 2023. If you want to support that, you can donate at the link down at the bottom of your screen. Donate at ko-fi.com/Rogue Sparrow Games. We have a few different tiers of rewards set up. If you donate at $1, you get a shout out in the credits. If you donate at least $5, you'll receive the shout out in the credits and PDF copies of the character sheets for all 4 of our characters. If you donate at $10 and above, you'll get all of that, as well as a PDF copy of the adventure itself, which we are still writing. Or rather, I'm still writing, because I like to fly by the seat of my pants, apparently. You'll receive the opportunity to name and design an NPC that is going to appear in a future episode of the Rocklin Clinic Job. And you'll have the opportunity to have a one-on-one character creation session with me in the system of your choice. If it's not a system I already know, I will learn it to the best of my ability to help you build that character. And finally, the absolute top tier, if you donate at $50 and above, you will have the opportunity to appear in the finale of the Rocklin Clinic Job as an NPC that you have designed. Now, with the
tonight.
Yes.
Yes.
With the character creation designs or character creation rewards, those go away after tonight. Unfortunately, if you donate at those levels for our last session, I will not have the opportunity to get you into the last session. So if that's something that you're interested in, something that you want to try, tonight's your night. But with that said, let's go ahead and jump in. Last time, our crew had been hired through their fixer, who is a guy by the name of 2-Bit Tommy. His bits are 1 and 0, by the way. Who is a rising fixer in the Rancho Coronado community. He was hired by a corporate executive by the name of Soraya Panakar, who had until very recently worked for a company called Rocklin Augmetics. Rocklin Augmetics specialized in creating and building cybernetic implants and prosthetic devices. She had been involved in a clinical trial to basically, it was a new procedure for implants for children and adolescents that reduced the rejection rates. She had pushed very hard for this to become publicly available. The corporation did not want this, and so they fired her and were planning to retrieve the data. She hired you all to get that data out of the clinic before the corporation had a chance to retrieve it. You all did that. You managed to get up to the server farm, and then last session you managed to break into the servers with a little bit of resistance. You had O'Bannon Security Services, which was contracted with the clinic, arrive, and it turns out that Adelaide O'Bannon had a little bit of history with Servi. So I bet he thinks he's pretty... Okay, he might think he's pretty clever. I am not. That took me way too long to read, Brainy.
Yeah, how many years has it been since you've read Leet?
I didn't read Leet when it was cool, so it's been a while. All right, so yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Adelaide O'Bannon has showed up and reinserted herself into Servy's life. They apparently differed on some ideas of what it means to be a protector. All that fun stuff. Shadow revealed that he has a sister who is a really good sniper, and also invited you all over to dinner. How did that dinner go? We're not gonna play through the entire thing, but how was that? What was the conversation like?
Well, I introduced Note to my daughter, which is kind of interested in hacking and kind of programming. So that was one thing that I definitely did at the dinner, is introduce them to each other. Which I'm sure that my daughter already lines up knowing a little bit about Note, since she happens to land up being a research monkey that give her a name and give her 10 minutes, and if there's any information about them that's available, she will end up finding it.
That's a good skill to have in a cyberpunk world.
Yeah,
definitely. Note does not like children.
She goes by the code name of Cypher is her code name that she goes by.
Meanwhile, JK probably entertained her with a couple of VI pets she has up her sleeve. So I don't know if you guys know, but her specialty is actual AI pets. So she makes augmented reality, virtual reality pets, and she usually has a little digital ferret who rides around on her shoulders.
Oh my god.
It's always a fun party trick.
Yeah,
So-
which Cypher is in a combat wheelchair.
And he's
Because,
adorable.
of course, the situation that went on with the actual wind up having the surgery that didn't end up going well, that ended up made her condition worse. So her transportation method is that she's paralyzed from the waist down, so she's end up in a combat wheelchair.
You know, I could hook you up with a virtual reality guide dog. I've done one of those before.
She'd
Super
definitely be interested in that.
Everything's cooler and virtual, anyways. Eat
Yup.
space is lame.
Yes. So,
No,
who
don't touch me.
cooked dinner, and are they like actually a good cook? Like, what's on the menu tonight?
That's
It would
important.
be my sister. The sister and probably lined up anybody else that wanted to come into the kitchen and end up helping her. But it would probably be my sister. Would probably be the if nobody assisted her, it would be my sister that would end up being the chef. Since
I know a thing or two about non-kibble food, considering I grew up.
yeah,
outside of the
since
city.
these people end up ending a person's life while at the same time lining up cooking a steak to
And let's hope we don't, combine the two tasks.
No,
yeah,
Are
she
you
was
like-
probably ended up going over the menu of what she was thinking of cooking for us for a meal while she was lining up taking care of sniping all those people at the while lining up being our backup, knowing her.
So there's like legit food. This isn't kibble? Like they're cooking.
No, this
in
is
the-
actual real. Well, as real food as you could end up getting getting at this time period.
Jake,
Who
would be
did you have to
impressed if
kill
you
to
guys
get
had real
that?
food.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a small garden that I end up taking care of fruits and vegetables that'll grow in this climate, and yeah. So we do have some actual real food, and not all of it lined up being being lined up synthetic.
Yeah, so everybody, every now and again you find a good vacant apartment in which to build a little grow house, and yeah, that's how you manage to afford more than just kibble at this point. But that was probably 2 or 3 days ago. Tommy has been trying to get a hold. 2-Bit Tommy has been trying to get a hold of Soraya, to say, hey, we got your data. How do we deliver it and get our funds? Like, how do we get the escrow released, basically? And he's been sounding a little nervous when you've talked to him over the last couple of days. Like, is he getting set up, basically, is his concern. But she finally came through. It's been about 3 days. And she arranged to meet at a place called Anton's Diner, which is just off of, just outside of anything that could be described as a major street in Rancho Coronado. It's the kind of place that you specifically go to avoid it being on anybody's territory. And it's a little bit surprising that a corpo would know to pick a place like this to pick effectively neutral ground. But she did. And when you arrive at the meet, she's already sitting at the booth. Tommy is not far behind her, Serby arrives with you, but then says, "Yeah, I'm gonna post over at the counter and run surveillance. You all can have your meeting."
Good job, Serby.
Yep.
Before I arrive, I've lined up, checked out possible locations of snipers to make sure that we won't end up having any sniper nests lined up popping up before I went to the meet. So that's what I would do.
Well, that's one of the nice things about the Anton's Diner is that there really isn't a good field of fire unless you're at street level, basically. So you will be able to see anybody coming at you, basically.
Okay, well, that's still something that I would make sure is lined up.
Mm-hmm.
I would check out possible locations that would land up being like a sniper's nest, or lined up location of where an attack would possibly come from.
He's more paranoid than I am.
Yeah. So Soraya is sitting calmly sipping at her beverage that claims to be synthetic tea. Tommy sits down, immediately lights up a cigar, and just jumps into a story about a previous job. So, yeah, we had a great time. Nobody got hurt. We got in, we got out, and there was a camel involved. I don't know how there was a camel involved, but you should have been there. Totally should have been there. So, anyways,
Tommy, do you always tell that story?
It's a good story. How many other stories have you heard that had a camel involved?
Yeah, but that creature you described sounds nothing like a camel. Not gonna lie.
Are there even camels around anymore?
Camels are the ones with the trunk and the tusks, right?
No. That's an elephant, sweetheart.
Oh.
You sure? It's not like an okapi or something?
I'm gonna conjure up an image of a creature. Didn't it look like this? It's got a trunk and tusks.
No, it was like hairy.
Hairy with a trunk and tusks.
Like a monkey?
Like a hairy with trunk and tusks. Oh, I'm just gonna pull up a picture of a warthog.
No, hairier, but like the first one.
A mammoth?
I'm gonna pull up a woolly mammoth.
That's what it is. That's why I keep you around, Shadow. It was a mammoth. I don't know how I keep getting those confused.
Extinct like millennia ago.
Oh.
It was virtual.
Or a really good AR projection. AV.
Look, you know how those rich people, they've been genetically creating whatever they want. I'm sure somebody has figured out a way to bring back extinct animals at this point.
Still not a camel, though.
Look, at least when I say camel, they kind of believe the story. Okay?
True.
Meanwhile, we're here to believe your story. So, you got the data bank, right? Somebody?
Yes.
You got the data bank?
It is here. Yes.
Soraya looks almost coldly at you, arches an eyebrow, and says, "And did you see what's on it?"
That's a good question. Would we have looked at it?
Yes.
Well, no, certainly would have.
All right. So, no, you would know, and actually we all found this out during the last session, but you would know that you found two different sets of the trial data. One was labeled for public release, and one was labeled for internal release only. The public release is apparently perfectly in line with what she was describing. It reduces the rejection rate by 60%. Other than that, it is perfectly in line with industry standards. It looks like the trial was a success. It looks like the procedure is a success.
However,
The internal data tells a more complicated story. The 60% reduction required several significant cases to be excluded from the trial data.
Of course.
One of the cases that you would have noticed, because the internal data is not anonymized, one of the cases that you saw had been excluded had the file name Van Setten. And reading through the case notes, you think you might have just had dinner with her.
Could Note have copied all of this onto another like external memory drive?
You absolutely could have. But could you have done it in a way that didn't show that the data had been copied? For that, I'm going to need an electronics and security tech roll. We're going to say this is DV 16.
All right, electronics and security. Let me click that. And hope my rolls aren't shit tonight.
I do miss those hero points.
Right.
There you go. 17 is plenty.
Damn.
So yeah, you were able to, you've got your own copy of the databank. My assumption is that you don't have it on you.
I do have an extra memory drive on me.
You do have an extra memory drive on you.
I got cyber.
But you might want to keep that at a secondary location.
Yeah.
Yep. In my nest.
So yeah. So you've got your copy off somewhere that is actually secure. And you've got her copy, and there is no indication on her copy that you have your own. So may I see the databank?
We've been paid, right? Fully.
The funds are in escrow. Once I review this data, make sure that it's intact, I will transmit the release code.
Or you could give us half. We could hand you this, and then you could review it.
Exactly what JK said.
Unfortunately, I don't have a mechanism to release half of the escrow.
Well, then just release all of it, and I'll hand this to you right now.
Given that you're all sitting outside of me at a diner booth, heavily armed, do you honestly think that I'm going to take this databank and run?
That'd be very stupid of you.
Thank you so much for the donation, Dex.
Oh, yay. 2 bits. You're going to be good for this.
I'm sorry, say that again.
2 bits. Is she going to be good for this? Because we usually don't hand over the goods before even a single note credit, whatever you guys use for money, has been
Eddie's, man.
Way I see it, this isn't exactly handing over the goods. If this was Black Lace or something, you'd be handing over for a taste. You got to make sure it's real stuff.
All right, give her the files.
Nope, we'll slide it over.
She pulls out her interface link, slots into the databank. You see her eyes light up as she's reviewing the data. And a few seconds later, she unplugs. It appears that everything is there. You've done excellent work. Let me just transmit this code, and as her eyes are lighting up for to transmit the code, you hear a door bang open and a commotion by the front entrance.
Are you kidding me?
And you also hear a similar bang from the back entrance, presumably, which is back through the kitchen behind the counter. Servi is immediately up, weapon out, facing the security entrance or facing the back entrance. But you see two booster gangers, both heavily chromed out, carrying what look like knockoff military weapons, both with lots of various chromed appendages and other implants, wearing bright orange as their primary color. And they immediately they come in, they scan, and it's very clear at this moment that they're looking for one person in particular. And when they see Tommy, they start coming over toward you.
Well done.
Soraya, you better make sure those credits go forward before bullets start flying.
I think you may want to deal with this. I will keep working on the money.
Tommy, you in trouble?
Look, these are not the people I usually work with. I don't know what the deal is here.
Is it a full action to... No, you can... It's holstering that's an action, right? You can draw your weapon.
Correct.
Right.
We are also not in initiative yet.
Right.
Basically, you're going to have one chance to talk to these people, and then it may or may not go south.
All right. I'm
How
going
close
to
are you going to let them get?
step out just a little bit. Maybe like here.
Okay.
And tell them, hey, you need something? We're kind of handling a private matter.
Yeah. It ain't private anymore. You're going to hand over what you took from the clinic, and we're going to go on our way, or the iron sights will be back.
I don't have anything.
Well, that's a problem now, isn't it?
Sounds like
Because we heard that somebody, some real stupid son of a bitch, who thinks he can do business in Ironsight's territory without paying his protection fee, was trying to run deals. You know what happens when you do biz in Harpy's place without paying Harpy's tax?
You get two idiots like you coming to start shit?
Don't need to call them idiots, JK. They're just doing their job.
You're right. You're just doing our job, and we're just doing our job. So look, is this different
I got
territory?
you. I got you. They didn't teach you how to count out in the Badlands, did they? And you look over the counter and you see that there's two more.
All right. So there's 4 y'all. And 2-bit's been shorting you some money.
My account's paid with them. I don't know what you're talking about here.
So look, why don't you, since it's a neutral territory, why don't you guys go back to your boss and have your boss talk to 2-bits and sort this all out later.
Bring some receipts, some memo maybe, but
You
dude,
shut
we're in
the
a
hell
diner.
up.
Me?
This? Yes, you.
JK, did you just tell me to shut up?
They did just tell you to shut up.
Nope, pulls out a heavy
guys that
pistol.
did that.
You pull out a heavy pistol. All right.
Can we roll? I don't see intimidation. Would that be persuasion? Something like that.
Yeah, but let's make it persuasion.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't see intimidation anywhere. I'm going to persuade them to think about what they're about to do. And maybe realize that this 4v4 or possibly 5v4, or there's another person in this group, possibly a 6v4 isn't worth their while.
Let me get Servi out of the encounter. So 16. You notice that they kind of look over at each other as if, like, this one seems like she's serious. What are we doing here? And you also notice that they, like, give each other a nod, like, we got this. So
Okay.
you would sense, yes, they are going to throw down here. But if it starts going against them, they're probably not going to stick around.
Okay. Cool.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started on this.
Roll initiative.
Yeah, I should actually roll initiative before I begin the encounter, shouldn't I?
No.
I mean, it would be smart. All right, and also Shadow, Ty, actually, I forgot last time when we were doing combat to deal with your particular roll ability, because your roll ability gives you 4 points to assign to different aspects of combat, including initiative. So let me pull up the page for that so that we can nail down what you're assigning your points to before we go any further.
And while the girls were talking, I was lined up. I was lining up, moving up on the moving on the other two. We're approaching, and I was lined up, reaching behind my back and pulling out my pistol.
All right.
Pistol. So that.
All right. So the things.
So that at least it was a aspect of that Servi and me were taking on those two, and then the girls were lining up handling the other two instead of it being a situation of lined up a 3-on-1 situation lining up going on. So
right. Okay. So you have 4 points. Those points can be assigned to the following abilities. Damage deflection, where you can assign 2 points and reduce the first damage that you take each round by 1, or 4 points to reduce it by 2. To fumble recovery, where for the full 4 points, you ignore the critical failures that ones give you when you are attacking. Initiative reaction, where you just get +1 per point that you assign. Precision attack, where for 3 points assigned, you add a +1 to any attacks that you make. Spot weakness, each point adds +1 on to the damage before armor for your first successful attack in each round. Or threat detection, each point adds a +1 to any perception checks you make. So you have 4 points you can assign. How would you like to split them?
Any insight from my compatriots before I assign?
Well, you're already first in the initiative. So you got that one unlocked. I don't know. Rest seems like dealer's choice.
What? Well then, I would end up saying precision attack with the one.
Okay, so precision attack, you can put 3 points there. That leaves you 1 point to assign somewhere else.
Then I'll assign the 1 point to defense then.
Damage deflection?
Yeah.
Damage deflection is a minimum of 2 points, so you can't do both
okay.
that and spot weakness.
Then I'll end up doing it to initiative then.
Do you want to do that, or possibly spot weakness and get +1 damage each turn?
With a spot weakness.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing for my point allocation.
All right. Now that we've made that decision, it is your turn. You said you had a shot lined up. Which target were you focusing on?
I am focusing on the which one of the two has the heavier weapon? Or they both have the same weapon?
They all look like standard issue Gangoons.
So they're not wielding anything out of the unusual then?
You almost get the sense that they are copied and pasted.
Okay. I'll just end up taking aim at the...
Even look oddly similar.
Yeah.
Taking one at the... Then I'll end up taking aim at the one and open fire.
All right. Which one are you targeting, though? The one furthest to the left or the one immediately north of JK?
I will end up targeting. I will. Yeah. Why did it grab? I will target this one that's
okay.
It's lined up. It's lined
Guy
up
to the north.
To the north. Yeah.
All right, and you are which weapon are you using?
I am using my heavy pistol.
All right. Difficulty values. Pistols.
And so, what's the modifier that I need to do? I need to put in a modifier, or just...
You're gonna roll handgun, or just the attack that's on your character sheet, just the fist icon on your character sheet. And
I don't need to do any modifiers, just roll the regular attack.
So remember when we said aiming, it is a +8 to the DV. It makes it harder, but you apply critical effects basically. So is that what you were intending to do?
No,
okay.
I was just going for a regular attack.
Yep. So it's just going to be a regular attack then. I don't believe he has high enough stats to... yeah, he does not have high enough stats to actually have an attempt to evade.
Woo!
Okay. I think a 22 will do it. Go ahead and roll... oh, wait, that's painting. You have drawn the Mona Lisa in ketchup and mustard on the tabletop.
Roll attack. Why did it roll the wrong freaking skill?
I have no idea.
Oh,
All right, 17
There
will
we
hit.
go.
Go ahead and roll damage.
I don't get why it rolled the run.
All right, so that did 13. He is wearing armor, so that's going to do 13 minus 4 is 9. So he has that remaining. His armor is going to go down by 1. And we are going to apply a critical injury because you rolled 2 3s in your damage pool.
nice.
And he has collapsed lung. -2 move.
That's rough.
Yeah, that is quite rough. All right. From Shadow, we go to him, actually. Same target. And, he's kind of annoyed. He's going to fight. He's going to shoot back. This is back at Shadow.
Here.
Shadow, do you have a... I believe it's an 8 to your reflexes is what you need to evade?
No, I don't.
Cover. Martial arts damage. Brawling. That's melee. Reflex 8 or higher. Okay, so yeah. So this is just going to be against the same pistol DV, which was 17. And he's going to crit.
Ooh. No Mona Lisa this time.
No Mona Lisa. Unfortunately, that was not that was not a painting roll. However, I forgot 2 things. 1, you did 1 more point of damage to him, and 2, he only does 2 points of damage to you after your armor.
Nice.
Okay.
So that's his turn. Note, you've got a pistol drawn.
No, it does have a pistol drawn.
What would you like to do with that pistol?
The pistol is mostly for looks.
Okay.
They can use it, but they're going to try and point it at one of these baddies and shoot. So we'll see how it goes. Let's see.
All right.
here.
And which one are we targeting? Shadow shot this one here.
Yeah, I'm trying to move my character sheet real quick.
Yep.
So that I could point it at this guy over here. That's over by JK.
All right.
All right.
So you are going to be shooting against difficulty value 20 from that position.
Oh gosh. Like I said, they're just literally they pull out the gun to look intimidating, and they're pulling the trigger in that general direction. So we'll see.
Might be easier to shoot the one that Shadow shot.
It's actually not. They are the same distance away.
Let's see. No, it doesn't.
You can, however, move too.
Can I climb on top? I don't need to.
I mean,
No isn't even looking. They just literally point the gun and pull the trigger, and weren't expecting that, so they kind of do it oh shit. Oh yeah.
Okay. Roll damage. Which?
I'm not even looking. I'm just kind of pointing for show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
We're just gonna curve the bullet.
You're right.
So on your sheet, on the
Just
fight
like in
tab,
virtual.
yep, it's just like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 17,
Yes. All right.
which somehow is still being made by Activision.
See, I played all those games. Exactly. All I have to do is push this button, and then I'll do the right trigger. Bam.
Mhm.
Say hello.
And nobody has yet had the courage to tell you that there's only one trigger.
Right? It's the same as driving. All I have to do is like push those buttons. It's fine.
Yep.
I'm a good driver.
No, we
decided
tested.
this.
We tested that theory. We tested that theory. Note.
Well, apparently it's fine
All right,
because that
so
guy's bleeding.
yeah, he is bleeding a lot. He does not like that. All right, who is up next? It is
Bad guy number 2. Or 3. Or 5.
All right, so the next 2 turns are the 2 that are up at the counter. They are going to drag Servi over the counter and just spend a turn beating on Servi.
Servi.
And guy that Note just shot is going to try and shoot JK. Because he does not have a great amount of confidence that he's going to be able to do the same thing that Note just did and roll preem.
All it is confidence, babe.
Actually, no, he's not going to shoot JK. He is going to step up. He's going to step up in JK's face and punch with rippers. And you have the opportunity to evade this.
Oh, good. I think I put an extra point in that. Assuming that is evasion.
Yes, that is going to be evasion, and it's auto going to roll the... yeah, so you evade. He goes to slash at you with the rippers that he's got built in, and you just ignore it. All right, from that, we go to JK.
Matrix. Sorry. Those are my special effects.
Much appreciated.
Very low budget. Oh, did the other Gangoon go? There were 3 in a row.
Yeah, there were 3 in a row. The third one was the one that was trying to punch you.
All
I
right,
said
well,
trying because it clearly didn't work.
the one that just hit me, I'm going to hit with a shotgun. Which is really great now that they're right next to me. So, let's roll. That's great.
Sorry, what's the DV at this range?
13.
13. Yep. You hit him. Roll damage. Let's see how big a chunk you blow out of him.
DV 13.
Man, these effects are so awesome.
Yep. Oh, none of them are doubles. Oh well.
No doubles, but he only has 3 points of armor and 10 hit points left. Parts of him get blasted back to the booth behind him.
JK is just gonna look over her shoulder and say, "Thanks for softening him up for me."
Alright, so let's apply status dead to him.
Beat Space does do this better than virtual. You like smell the copper.
Alright, yep.
Yeah, I can get kind of gooey every once in a while.
Shadow, we're back to you.
So at this point, with one of their comrades dead, don't they end up having don't they end up needing to end up rolling to see if they stand their ground or if they run from this? Since they just lined up had one of their comrades lined up going DOA.
Well,
They
if
might.
that happened, that would happen on their turn anyway.
That might also just happen secretly. I don't know. What are you doing on your turn, though?
I'm going to land up aiming at the one that I may have shot last turn, and I'm going to land up if Foundry will actually end up working.
No painting.
And I will end up opening fire with my gun again.
I like the battle music.
All right, so an 18 is enough to hit him. Go ahead and roll damage.
Come on, Foundry. I rolled, and Foundry's not responding.
Okay. We're gonna reload with lower settings on Foundry and see if that does anything. There we
There
go.
we go.
Oh, there it goes. Ooh, 2 5s and 2 2s.
Unfortunately, that only counts as one crit, but it doesn't matter because you're also applying the status of dead.
Status of dead.
It's a good status for enemies.
It's a good status for enemies. Anton is going to be quite upset that he has 2 new corpses in his dining room, but you know, I suppose that we could forgive that.
So, what are the 2 that are lining up grab Serby doing? Are they lining up running away now that they just saw their 2 comrades lined up getting decimated?
Before we find that out, we do have Note's turn to get through, and then the Gangoons might be alive to react. Also, hello Spencer, thank you for joining us tonight. So Note, what are they doing?
So Note is very sort of haphazardly going to like put their gun up and stare at the other 2, and just kind of give them like a, well, are you done now? I don't know if this is intimidation or
I think I used persuasion for mine.
persuasion.
Yeah, go ahead and roll persuasion. The DV is going to be much lower, considering you succeeded before the fight and then killed 2 of them.
Pretty early.
All right. They both put their hands up. And they back out the back entrance.
Wait, you guys can't just leave. Just put your guns on the counter.
They don't stop.
They don't stop?
No, they back the hell away.
That's okay. We can snag the guns from the other 2. JK is going to walk over to Servy, hold down a hand, and help her back to her feet. Y'all right there?
Oh, got my bell rung.
Yeah, that's not the 2-on-1 you want.
Well,
But I'm glad you're still in one piece.
yeah, well, so to speak, and she gestures at, her cyber arm and foot.
Well, yeah, but I mean, look at that guy, and she points to the one with the shotgun damage who's in multiple pieces. Could have been
Oh
worse.
yeah. No new holes. That is definitely a plus.
All right.
So, what was this about, 2-Bit?
They said iron sights, right? That was what they said before they started shoving
I believe
their guns in our
so.
faces.
Yeah. So, what kind of trek are you lining up into? So,
Listen. Before we go down this road, I am not paying anybody any protection fees. Not them.
I didn't say
not it.
anything about protection fees. I said
You might
before
not
you
have,
ended
but
up
they
getting
did,
their
and I need to clear this up. They said I hadn't paid their protection fees, and that's why they're coming at me. I don't pay anybody protection fees. That's
Yeah,
not
I
how
thought
I
there was
operate.
something kind of fishy about that.
What I've heard, they're the newest kids on the block, and they're looking to make a name for themselves. Their boss is somebody by the name of Harpy. I
What?
don't know. Harpy, you heard of her?
Yes. Maybe. No.
Well, look, if you know something that's more than I know, I just know that they showed up. They're waving around fancy new, not fancy or new, but fancy to them. They're waving their iron around and trying to take over some space. It's not been going so well for them recently.
Who's Harpy? How do you know them? Did we lose Note?
And I think we lost Note.
Oh. Can I search these guys?
Yeah, go ahead.
What would I use?
That is going to be conceal reveal object.
Which is...
I believe it's in
the top one.
Yeah.
I find nothing. No. Yeah. I don't even find the guns in their hands. Nope.
You know, you do find the guns in their hands. You are set on making sure that they are no longer a threat to you. And that kind of takes up your whole focus.
Yep.
Note is going to defer on explaining who Harpy might be while Soraya is still there, but
okay.
Basically, 2-Bit looks at Soraya and says, "Okay, you probably need to get going. Don't be a stranger, though. We may very well need to contact you again before this is over, because I didn't tell anybody about this meeting."
Don't worry. If we need to find her, her location won't wind up being as secret as she thinks it is.
Yeah, we got our ace hacker Note over here.
Hey, we have a note by voice, if not by video.
I have video from her on my end.
I do too.
Oh, did you have to rejoin?
You know, it is like 8:10, and we did finish combat. Would it be a good time for a breaking thingy?
Sam, did you let me get Sam back on the overlay first? And then Sam, did you want to explain who Harpy might be?
I know her as Madison Hughes, but she was I mean, not the same thing that's going on with Serby. Definitely not that kind of relationship. But you get jobs. You get jobs, and sometimes you embarrass people, and things go wrong. And sometimes they hate you. Sometimes you hate them, and you just kind of want to maim and kill them. So.
And then sometimes you run the risk of cyberpsychosis.
Yeah.
Did you drive someone mad?
No.
That would be funny. But so it was
You
a
go
job
on
by
one too
itself?
many brain dances. Sometimes things happen, and sometimes jobs just go weird. You're in it for the money. Who cares what happens to people?
Yes, that's why I don't do brain dances.
You need to experience them at least once or twice. It's a trip, man.
There's nothing wrong with my boombox.
So another person that needs not that is going to land up needing a bullet through their head by ghost. Got ya.
No, actually, if anyone puts a bullet in them, it's me.
So basically, this person has it out for you because the job went south, and they 100% blame you for it.
Pretty much. I don't.
Okay.
People get super testy about things sometimes.
Well, if this is any indication, looks like they're testing you too. So it's just something we got to be ready for.
Yeah.
I got you back though.
And they're not as good as I am, so.
Well, clearly we killed 2 of them in about 5 seconds flat.
You do notice one thing though. None of them mentioned or addressed note.
That. It's fine.
And with that, we are going to go to our break. We'll be back in, let's call it 10 minutes at 8:25. And we'll be back with the second half of the Rocklin Clinic Job. We'll see you soon, folks. And we are back with the second half of our episode of the Rocklin Clinic Job. This is the third episode out of our 4-episode run of this Cyberpunk Red fundraiser stream in support of ClawmarCon 2023. If you want to get involved in that and support a local gaming convention and making access to it even easier for folks, you can donate at the link down at the bottom of the screen, ko-fi.com/Rogue Sparrow Games. Any donations you make to that will go to support ClawmarCon 2023. Any other way that you donate to the channel, whether it's bits or cheers or subscriptions, all that is going to support this channel and help us bring you more and varied content. But if you donate to support ClawmarCon at the Ko-fi link down at the bottom, $1 will get you thanks in our credits. $5 will get you a PDF of the character sheets. $10 will get you a PDF of the adventure and a one-on-one character creation session with me in any system that you choose. And $50 will get you the opportunity to appear as an NPC in the finale episode of the Rocklin Clinic Job. And if you have already donated at a level that would let you design an NPC, please send me that design so that they can actually appear in the finale. Because we only got one episode left, folks.
Dun, dun, dun.
Ah, yes. Time for the good old Rocks Fall, Everyone Dies.
I knew it.
All right. So after this little incident, where two fresh new bodies got added to the floor of Anton's diner, 2-Bit says he's going to make a couple of calls, try and see what intel he can put together about the iron sights.
Does 2-Bits think it has anything to do with the job we just did?
Like I said, I didn't tell anybody we were meeting here.
We also found something a little shady with that info.
Yeah?
That 60% isn't quite accurate. Well, it is if you don't include all the data of patients that didn't quite make it. If Note had told me about that.
Yeah.
You know, they tell you not to get involved with the corporations. That they will always find a way to bite you in the ass.
But now I'm curious if the corporation was trying to erase it because of the mistakes, because they didn't want someone performing those experiments or using that method.
You think the corporation had a conscience?
No, but I wonder why she wanted the data so badly if she knew there were bad things in there.
Well, we could see who wants to buy it since I made a copy.
Or if they do try and push this method forward with their false results, we could expose them.
For money.
Sure.
Listen, you want to try and sell that information, I can make a couple of calls. But that stuff is rad hot.
Yeah, I would wait and see what happens with the clinic or with this doctor and go from there.
Yeah. Well, we could also see what's going on virtual and see if anyone's saying anything, looking for this information on the darker side of things.
So is that what we're heading out to? We're going to be doing a little digging?
I like digging.
All right.
You got your shovel 2-bit?
Look, these hands, they don't do the actual work. They dial numbers. I put people together. That's my job. But I'll see what I can do.
It's going to be a long night. You ready, JK?
I'm ready. Let's do some data diving.
At that, I head over to the counter. Do I see a waitress on duty? Or some form of actual management, because I'm pretty sure they aren't going to end up leaving this place lined up being around 100% automated.
Shadow, they might make us pay for it, so we should just go.
Or worse, they might make us clean up.
Yeah. I mean, this part of town, I doubt the suits would come, but they deal with this kind of stuff all the time, I'm sure.
All right. Head out the door.
Does Tommy have any sort of idea of where or how we should start looking into this data?
So he's going, like he said, he's going to be putting in a few calls to see about. There are no tokens on this. Excuse me for 1 second.
Yeah, we've entered the void.
Did we get our money?
Yes.
Did we make sure that went through?
You did get your money.
Question for the game master: is the designer fully automated, or does it actually end up having the actual staff?
Oh yeah, it's got a staff.
The reason why I'm asking is because my question that I'm going to end up inquiring about is lined up staff shift. I'll end up seeing if somebody landed up actually would have landed up actually called in. Would have landed
I'm
up,
sorry. What's the question that you're asking? I can't.
The question that I would have landed up asked if it wasn't for my two compatriots lining up saying that we should land up just leaving, was actually lined up. Was actually going to see if I could land up getting a idea of who was on shift, to land up seeing if somebody looked shady enough to land up being of questionable nature to land up actually have ratted out the meeting, since Two-Bit's claiming that he didn't inform anybody of our meeting, of us meeting here. Well, then obviously been us landing up meeting here was either leaked by our so-called scientist or land up somebody from the actual restaurant was the one that when I called in that we were meeting here.
So there are two people on staff. They were both cowering in the kitchen as the fight broke out. One is a woman who looks to be in her mid-60s. Her apron is absolutely filthy with grease stains. And she just she's like staring daggers at you as you try and ask these questions. The other is a young man, looks to be like maybe out of high school, maybe. He's got a ton of piercings. He's got one side of his skull is shaved, the other side is grown out long. He looks like he's trying to be a rocker boy and mostly coming off as a fanboy. But he had been working as been working as the waiter tonight.
Okay, well, hey, it went out fit the fit the escalation pattern and lined up inquiring about it. So
Look, we didn't make any calls. We were just trying to, take orders and that kind of stuff. It wasn't us.
I know you. I know you're a short order cook and you're a fanboy that wants to land up.
I am not a fanboy. I've got a band and everything.
You mean a garage band that you can't even get your girlfriend to actually come and listen to you? Yeah, you keep working on that.
Shadow, maybe it's time to go.
And I walk out the door at that.
Oh, that poor kid.
Guy didn't even tip.
I would. No, I'll tip.
Okay.
That's gonna transfer some eddies.
There we go. So,
dang it, money.
Yeah. So the question then becomes, how you're going to pursue the investigation. Like, obviously, it's the Ironsides that are interested. You theoretically know who the leader might be.
Does Note have any old like contact? Like how did they used to like contact one another? I'm guessing all those leads and numbers are dead because that would be kind of short-sighted to still have those.
So you used to have, like, you literally just used to have each other's phone numbers, or agent numbers, I guess would be the phrasing. And those don't really change. Bless you. Those don't really change. But she's stopped answering your calls. Like, she's just got you blocked for the most part.
Is there any information brokers that we could talk to, or search, or maybe is there information on the data drive itself that points to something? Can we roll investigation?
You can roll. Let's see. Let me actually look at the skill list for a second. That might be helpful.
Right. Is there some sort of like ask around sort of skill? Streetwise?
Yeah, so Streetwise is going to be like looking around for basic things like information brokers, what kind of territory they have, that sort of thing. Digging through the data is going to be... Digging through the data is actually going to require several checks. Because it is a combination of a bureaucratic document and a scientific report. So it's going to require both bureaucracy and science roles. They do not have to be from the same person.
Well, let's see here.
Does anyone have Streetwise as a skill?
I think I do. Do we know kind of where this gang has been operating out of?
That would be something covered under the Streetwise role.
Okay.
What about local expert?
Are you from Rancho Coronado?
No.
So local expert and language by default are focused on where your character is originally from.
Okay, cool.
So if any of your characters are from Rancho Coronado, then local expert would apply.
Okay.
And it so happens that one of your characters I know is from Rancho Coronado, but they're not here. So in the absence of any other successes, Survey will roll local expert, but I want to give you all a chance to shine while you're here.
Okay.
Oh, I have local expert.
Everybody has local expert. You are a local expert in the home district.
Where
that you're
is my
from.
home? Yeah, never mind.
If I remember correctly, you said you were from like the combat zone.
Yeah.
Which so on this map, it's actually going to be on the main peninsula of the city, in the southeast side. Rancho Coronado is going to be across the bridge to the south.
Gotcha. Right. Well, one idea real quick would be to scan and see if there's an access point at the diner and see if there's like any security cameras that Note could like quickly go back over and see if like somebody had been scoping out the area before.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll interface. I'm not going to have a whole net architecture for this, but it's going to be a simple password and then the actual footage if there is a security camera there.
All right.
If there is a functioning security camera.
That's what I'm wondering. Net. Let's go ahead.
Yeah. So with a 13, yeah, you're able to get past the password. And the security camera footage is there. You download a copy and review it at your leisure. And what you see is a pair of cars pull up with 3 people in each one. The driver of each car stays in the car and the other 2 people get out. 2 head to the back door, 2 head to the front door, and then a few minutes later, you see 2 people run out the back door. Nobody runs out the front door, and the cars drive off.
Can I run the plates?
You run the plates. Go ahead and give me a bureaucracy roll.
Bureaucracy.
You run both sets of plates, and you immediately come up with reports of stolen cars that match the description of the vehicles that the plates were on, but switched. So they didn't, like, they almost did a smart thing. Almost. But not quite. Like, if you're gonna steal a car, you want to switch the plates with a car that wasn't reported stolen of a similar make. Instead, they stole 2 cars and then switched the plates of those 2 stolen cars. So both stolen car reports get tied to them instead.
Oh gosh. Were the cars stolen from the same place too?
Mm-mm. Well,
okay.
One was so they were stolen in different parts of the same district. So they were both stolen in Rancho Coronado. But one was almost over toward Pacifica. One was more over toward Haywood.
Okay.
Do we wait for 2-bit, or is there anything else you guys could think of that we could run real quick?
You've told me a few different things that. Sorry, what was that, Shay?
Oh, sorry. I was asking if Shadow has a streetwise skill that maybe they could roll. Or if anyone. I don't have it. I mean, I can roll it. I just don't have any bonuses to it.
I'm just rolling something.
Shadow does have streetwise.
Want to give it a roll? Oh, that's luck.
Yeah, I blew it.
Hey, 13 or no, that's not your roll.
Yeah,
okay.
no, that's
JK was 13.
both Note and I rolled 13s.
Go.
All right. So yeah, with your streetwise, they are trying to claim territory in Rancho Coronado. But they are still a relatively new booster gang. And they have not they're still in the phase of a gang's development where they are basically attempting to do shock and awe. They're trying to scare people into recognizing their territory.
Yeah.
Which you would recognize makes them more dangerous than a more established gang. Because they're a little bit less predictable.
This might be a dumb thing to do. So we want to meet with this harpy, right?
I think we want to find out why they were after us in this information. So yeah.
So I wonder if this could be like a security tech role. If Note were to make up some sort of like announcement and sort of like as a virus send it out to like everybody's sort of what are those handheld their
Agents?
their agents, and just be like, Harpy, call Note. And just kind of like spam that throughout all the like the electronic media.
Do we really want her to come after you specifically, though?
Yeah, because then I could shoot her.
So you would know. You would know that particular form of an attack was actually one of the ways that the rabbits worked when data crash actually happened. And so modern networks, modern agents have at least a basic functionality to prevent that kind of spam going out. Like if they detect that a message is being sent to more than, a couple thousand users, then they immediately just don't send the message.
Dang it. What about some billboards?
Hey, you want to buy a billboard? I might know a guy.
Well, are there any other ways we can search for information?
So do we have any idea of where these so-called soldiers that want to land up in big time land up calling their home base?
I think that's what we're trying to find out.
Well, you know that they're based in Rancho Coronado, but beyond that broad definition or beyond that broad territory, you don't have a real solid idea yet. To answer your question, Shay, you had mentioned a couple of different avenues of investigation that, in the process of brainstorming, I think got lost. I haven't had a chance to address them all. I don't remember them off the top of my head. Sorry. But you have come up with ideas that haven't been pursued yet.
Okay, I think I was looking for maybe trying to find some sort of information broker, like find a local expert or something.
Yep.
Um,
So that
How-
is probably going to be the local expert role, and I can have Serby roll that.
okay.
Serby knows enough. And Serby actually gets you a sit down with another local fixer, somebody who's a little bit more established in Rancho Coronado than 2-Bit.
Mm-hmm.
None of you have actually worked a job with this person because he's a little bit less ethical. He tends to treat his runners as just a little bit more disposable than you're comfortable with. But he goes by the name of Slipping Jimmy. And Slipping Jimmy is, well,
Great name.
I don't know how best to describe him other than slimy as fuck. He walks in, he walks in, his hair is greased back. He's got his mustache, which is containing probably the remains of 2 or 3 past donuts. He's got 3 days growth of beard. His suit jacket doesn't really fit him and is stained from the coffee that he clearly spilled on it this morning. And he looks over. He says, yeah, you the folks that was looking around Rancho. What can I do this for?
Yeah, we're looking to see if we can find the hideout of this new gang.
You're looking for a gang hideout and you came to me? I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, we're just kind of looking for information about them.
Hey, information about who?
Oh my god, I totally forgot what their name was.
The gang is called the Iron Sights.
The Iron Sights. That, yeah. It's a thing that I should know.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, you're fine. He looks around and he asked to meet you in a fairly open place, fairly public place. But he looks around. Iron Sights. I don't know who that might be. I think you got the wrong person. Sorry.
Do you want to take a walk with us and
That's a dangerous phrase there, JK.
just chat with us, maybe in a slightly more private location?
Sam, your mic is breaking out again.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Better.
That's better.
Okay.
Listen. It's really been nice talking to you. But biz is biz, and you ain't got any biz with me. So
I thought you're big with information.
if the clients are right.
Can Note bring up like a Eddie transfer request and put 100 Eddie? I think I still have 100 Eddies, and just be like, do you know where this gang is located?
Listen, 100 Eddies would get you plenty of information. But what it won't get is my coffin if I had this information to give you. You understand?
Right. Right, but if this information was to just somehow wind up inside of my agent and, there's no trace back to you. I'm pretty good at erasing trails and whatnot. You might find yourself a couple eddies richer. I might find myself with a couple more information.
You must think I'm an idiot. You think that, just because you tell me that it's not going to end up in anybody else's hands, that it's not going to end up in anybody else's hands. I told some very important people the same thing. And the way that I guaranteed it was that when the cards were on the table, my ass went to lockup for 6 years. Are you prepared to do the same?
All we're trying to do is talk to them.
Nobody just talks to the Iron Sights.
They're like a relatively new gang.
That don't mean that they don't got a lot of guns.
Well, I have a gun right here.
You very much do. Let's not be pointing that in any particular direction, all right?
Right. Well, if you don't want to be in your coffin right now, and if you want to wait just a little bit longer to be in that, let's just make a deal. Because I'm not very patient.
Look. You make a compelling case, and you seem like a nice person. You really do. So tell you what, I can arrange a meeting. Now, the meeting will be originally arranged with me. I will be unavoidably detained. You understand how it is.
Of course.
If someone were to figure out where that meeting was taking place and decide to act as my proxy, well, that would be unavoidable because I'm unavoidably detained. You're picking up what I'm saying here?
Makes sense.
How soon can you make this happen?
Give it a couple of days.
And how do we know you're not just going to disappear?
You found me once. Kind of hard for me to do my job if people can't find me.
Is there someone who's willing to give us this information immediately who you wouldn't mind ending up in a coffin?
Nobody smart enough to actually understand you would do that. Because if they're smart enough to understand what you're asking them, they're smart enough to understand that if they give up information on the Iron Sights is going to give up on their life.
All right, I guess we'll have to wait a couple of days and do it your way.
Much appreciated. Now, about that consulting fee, you wanna press send on that there?
We can send it when you give us a date and a time.
Half now. Half on the date.
Fine.
No, we'll send half.
All right.
And I can send the other half.
Oh, thanks.
How many EDs do we have now with the other job being done?
I believe you got 5,000 each. I believe. I could be misstating, but I'm going to go with that, which is
That's a lot. That is a lot.
Yeah, that first job paid really well.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Twice the going rate, right?
It's definitely out of line with what you had been getting from previous jobs.
I didn't realize I had this much money.
Yeah.
Well, what are we even doing? Why don't we just leave?
An excellent question. Why don't you just leave?
And I sent him a $100 for $100 for Linda coming and meeting us tonight, so that he's got some security that we're actually legit. So that's what I send him 100, so that he has some security that this is.
Are you just
legit.
giving away money, Shadow? If you're just giving away money, I mean, here's my agent. I could use some too.
Well, it does have a point. I guess we don't have to pursue this information. We can just retire in the 5,000 EDs. All right, folks, it was nice playing. Thank you for joining us for Cyberpunk.
Well, guess we're not going to that 4th episode. Oh, well.
That'll be our beach episode.
Yeah.
And I casually end up letting him know if he doesn't have the information to us in 3 days that he will end up definitely end up needing to end up having paid up his funeral arrangements, because I will make sure that he ends up getting in the coffin. So
It's kind of curious how a newfound gang already has so much power in Rancho Coronado. Annoying. But, like, seriously. You just can't find decent information anymore.
Speaking of which, maybe we could look out some back alley weapons deals. If they have that much firepower, they must have been getting it from somewhere.
You could also get some firepower yourself if you want.
We could.
Yes.
Or some upgrades to your current firepower.
Shopping episode.
No, we will do a shopping episode between sessions.
Insulate my deck so I don't catch on fire again.
That
Yeah,
would
it'd
be
be really
crazy.
nice if you didn't catch on fire.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking about carrying around like a mini fire suppressor just because you just keep burning up.
It's because I'm so hot.
But
I asked my sister if she knows anybody that's lining up dealing in weapons and armor that isn't lined up an actual business that's lining up dealing underground with lining up doing weapons and armor trading that lines up operating in the area.
We could also take a couple days to look through that information. If it's going to be a couple days, we could sort through.
Yeah. She gets back to you, Shadow, with basically the arms trade writ large is business as usual. There doesn't appear to be any new players on it. However, there was a truckload of like confiscated pistols, submachine guns, small arms, basically, that were being taken to a police facility, an NCPD facility, to be destroyed or resold. The NCPD doesn't particularly care.
NPC or land up the psycho, particular psycho SWAT squad that lands up taking out.
No, it was not Max Tech. It was NCPD. However, that shipment didn't make it to the warehouse where things were going to be processed. The guns have not shown up back on the market, so the rumor mill is wondering what happened to them. But it was one truckload of small guns. It wasn't anything noteworthy.
Noteworthy? So,
noting this.
I asked her if the police would wind up having an actual catalog of what weapons were actually on their truck, just for the sake of, or was it one of their shadow operations where they didn't end up cataloging the weapons that were on the truck?
Or the weapons ended up in the hands of a brand new gang.
I mean, she can find you the police report eventually, but much more quickly she gets you the article from WNS News, which basically describes that this was just a legit police operation. They were taking the weapons that they had seized during a bust and were taking them to a warehouse to be processed and destroyed or resold, if there was a bidder. And both of the officers that had been on the truck were killed during the assault, so presumably they weren't in on the theft.
Well, I kind of figured that much. So has there been any actual large purchases of weapons or armor that's been going on lately that would wind up being unusual for?
Nothing unusual.
Yeah.
Nothing
No,
unusual.
not that we
The corporate security teams are always rearming with the latest and greatest things. Gangs are taking the leavings from the corpos, that sort of stuff. Aside from that one shipment going missing, there's not a whole lot unusual in the arms scene.
Anything unusual end up happening with any of the seized material from Nextech, from their squads that end up standing out? Because I want to make sure that that is definitely covered. Is there anything unusual that's been happening with them? Or
MaxTech guards its information fairly well. That is going to take time to find out. Let's go back to what Shay said. Remind me what the last idea you had was. Digging through the actual trial data.
Taking some time to see through and see what there might be spicy.
And I said that was going to require bureaucracy and science to process that data.
Yes.
So, who wants to make a bureaucracy roll? And then who wants to make a science roll?
I could try science.
Okay.
You know what? That would be really good at bureaucracy is our dear lawman, Jesse.
That would probably be good. Let me check and see if that's actually something that Jesse put points in. It is not. It is not what Jesse put points in.
All right.
Darn it.
Let's try.
However, if you make an argument that something else would be able to take the place of bureaucracy, I might be able to allow that at a higher DV.
Okay. I think I can roll science, just because I have a plus in science here.
Okay.
So, was it education that had to have like a specific thing, or was it science? That's not bad.
Your science roll is fine. So like go ahead.
What exactly would the bureaucracy role be for? Like,
so with bureaucracy, what you're trying to do is you're trying to understand, because this is presented as a report to corporate overlords, or whatever passes for a regulator in this day and age. Like, it's not just a purely scientific paper. It is couched in legal bureaucratic terms, some of which are internal to the corporation, some of which are referring to legal structures,
profits, loss, thresholds, liabilities, that sort of thing.
So like with the science role, you are able to understand the statistical analyses that go into the data. You're able to pick up on anything in that. Bureaucracy is going to help you understand what the implications would be for people making decisions based off this data.
Can I argue for a business role then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Because basically the same as bureaucracy.
It's gonna focus more on what Rocklin might be doing with this data than. So with that 15, you get a success on that as well. So you're going through this data, and
Oh, no, you're gonna love this. As we're going through this data, JK is gonna pull out a laptop.
What the hell is that? Are we that analog? Wow.
It's a computer. I can just type it with my hands.
Okay.
See? Listen. Tack, 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 tack.
That is a very satisfying sound.
Right? You should try, doing things with your hands more. Plus, I can see things that are happening around me as I'm typing.
Me too. I have picture within a picture.
Details. Plus, I can put stickers on this.
Stickers might be the most compelling answer so far. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so
First hands on tech to a cyberware.
You comb through the data, and the first thing that is clear is that the edits between the internal report and the external report were definitely made so that the trial or the protocol that the trial was running for would get approved and would get widely publicly adopted. Thank you so much for the subscription, Brainy. That does help out the channel. All right. Words.
Data.
Brain got distracted. Yes. So yeah, they're trying. The Rocklin is trying to present this protocol in a way that it gets widely adopted, and more importantly, so that it gets widely licensed. Because when the protocol gets licensed, they get paid. You actually notice that the way the internal report is crafted, there are two groups that would find the differences in this data particularly useful. One being Rocklin's public affairs information security section, with basically the division within Rocklin that is charged with keeping its own secrets and making sure that public perception gets shaped in the correct way. The other group that would find the quote unquote internal report particularly interesting is any competing corporation. So the question that comes to your mind is, why would you keep a smoking gun around, basically?
Well, I can understand if you were fired, why you would want that smoking gun.
Maybe.
That's true.
And why you would end up making sure to end up communicating with a local minor team that was disposable about said meeting to end up getting said data to eliminate any traces of how you got that information into your hand.
So we get assigned this job. We go in. Getting in is ridiculously easy. Getting out was a little harder.
Get paid a lot of money.
Right.
They probably didn't count on the factor of my connection to my sister being an actual sniper.
Right, but as soon as the credits gets transferred after Miss Soraya is hard to find, we get attacked by these gangbangers. Chrono Goombusters. What are they called?
Gangoons.
Gangoons. There we go.
Yeah.
That happened to be a small, insignificant game that's end up just trying to end up getting themselves started so they would be a perfect fall guy.
Yeah, but everyone's afraid of them.
Got rid.
Rocklin was coming to destroy the data, so maybe they knew this was a smoking gun and wanted it gone.
Where is Sarai right now?
No idea. But she
Think we
has
should track
perfect
down.
blackmail material for Rocklin. Yeah, we could see if Tommy Two Bits knows where to find her, and because he wanted to talk to her too.
Yeah. So he gets back to you within a day of you sending him a request. The first thing he says, yeah, I had a little bit of success finding a fixer that works with the iron sights. Runs a lot of information for them. He's a real piece of shit, but he's in bed with them. Goes by the name of Slipping Jimmy.
Yeah, we met him.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we talked to him.
He
set up a meeting, and he's very reluctant.
Did he give you anything useful?
He said that he was going to set up a meeting with them and then be unavailable to show, at which point we could show up.
Yeah, it sounds like his modus operandi. Be careful around him. Last group that wasn't the Ironsides that he did something for, they didn't end up making it out of that job.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Yeah. Now, all right. So you were looking to get in hold a touch of Soraya. Yeah, I tried getting a hold of her, and she's dodging my calls. But this felt hinky to me. This did not do well. So I did a little digging of my own, and the calls are bouncing off of a tower not too far away from the police precinct. They're actually getting routed through the police precinct network area before they get rejected. So there's only a few places that she might be hanging out that would go through that tower.
Yeah, it sounds like she's either trying to use this data to blackmail Rocklin, or this data's not quite right.
You don't ever that. There's something about this. I
think we got some crackling.
Yeah. Sorry, brain shut off for a second. Words are hard. Yeah, so like you don't blackmail a corp unless you've got another corp behind you or something. There's something
like
here that
someone's trying to buy this data. That we're not stealing it for Rocklin. That maybe Serrana is working for a different corp.
Which, if that's the case, then you're all expendable.
Because we know who stole this data.
And I am too.
Which is why they showed up, because it was Serrana who called them to clear out loose ends.
Maybe.
This could just be pure speculation.
Wait, when you say called them, are we talking the Corpo security, or are we talking the Ironsides?
I'm talking about the Ironsides.
The Ironsides.
Second she had that data in her hands, she called them in. She saw it was legit, and then they showed up.
Alright. I don't know. Corps. They play 4D chess. We're going on here. Sometimes they might send their own goons. Sometimes they might work through gangs. It depends as much on what's going on within a corporation and whatever internal machinations they've got going on as anything outside of the company.
corporations are just scum.
Which corporation has the most to gain from Rocklin failing?
Literally anybody else in cybernetics. So off the top of my head, Raven Microcyber, More Technologies, Biotechnica might have something going. Arasaka is more military arms, but they might be able to dig something out of this. Militech, same thing. You know, the list is not short.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and she could go to any of those.
It's depending on who she contacts and whether or not they believe her, she'd be able to write her own check, basically.
Which is like no real skin off our back unless she comes after us as loose ends.
Which, if she got this far, she's smart enough to realize that you're a loose end. Or that we're a loose end. I shouldn't be saying you. My head's on the block too.
She doesn't know we have a copy of this data.
Yeah. How sure that she doesn't know?
I mean, if she has a team behind her and enough money, she can find out.
Okay.
So where is this police precinct that her calls are pinging off of?
So on the map, if you see the label for San Moro Bay, and if you go directly south from that, the number 14, that is the police precinct.
I think we head over there.
Yep. So,
we get the access point, access her stuff.
And 2-Bit points out a couple of different possibilities. The most likely place that he can think of would be one of the recently built mega buildings in that area that has started leasing apartments. If you're somebody that money is not that much of an issue, renting an apartment and then just, not renewing the lease is arguably safer and more quiet than renting a hotel room. Certainly more comfortable.
Okay, so here's the question: if we do find her and we do run into her, what do we do? What's our plan?
Well, I'm hoping that we could just take her data without running into her. But
Like if we are expendable, and she does want us to, be 6 feet under. How do we stop that? How do we stop her? Or whatever corporation is paying her checks at this point. I mean, theoretically, we should just lease the data and then she'd have no reason to come after us. Maybe revenge, but,
revenge is a good motivator.
Can be. But keeping people quiet is a better one.
You saying we blackmail her?
No, because then she'd definitely want us dead.
Yeah.
Hey, Sam.
Which precinct was the missing gun shipment from? Which precinct was that missing gun shipment that landed up poofed while I was in?
Technically, it was the same police precinct, but it was not. If the Iron Sights are operating out of Rancho Coronado, that doesn't surprise you.
Oh, yeah, but I just figured. Well, I passed on that information that shipment of guns landed up disappeared. That was from that same precinct.
Yeah. So basically, the information that you're able to get about that gun and shipment, it looks like they've got a pretty good supply, but the guns that they've got are they're all small arms. There are not very many smart guns in them. There's not a ton of like exotic ammunition choices. And most of the guns were things that people are not going to miss. Some of them are already broken, some of them are already worn out, and the rest are on their way toward that direction.
Nothing military grade or experimental in the shipment?
Honestly, at this point in firearms technology, military grade is a downgrade from civilian market.
Well, anything that winds up being like experimental or
No,
okay.
no.
Well, I just figured that I would wind up checking to wind up seeing if there was something really dangerous in that bunch to wind up.
Nothing special, but it for this to have gone for this shipment to have gotten taken, it is effectively a build your own gang DIY kit.
Yeah. There's nothing super fancy in there, but there's enough of it to arm them pretty decently. Yeah. What were you going to say, John?
I don't remember now. Oh, yeah. So like the blackmail option, there's a couple of different ways that you can make that work. One of which I think Sam is going to laugh at, and that is a dead man switch. If you make it clear to her that if anything happens to you, then the information gets out, then she has an incentive to at least think before she tries to attack you, right. Which might be enough.
Right. Note likes that.
Yeah, maybe we can just go and be like, hey, we did this job. We had no problem doing this job. Like, good business is good business. Keeping your word is keeping your word. However, if you decide that you'd rather expend us than do good business with us, then we'll release this data.
Exactly. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. If you scratch too hard, then, well, you get stabbed.
Yeah. And we've already done the scratching in good faith, so.
Right. All right, well, the question is, do we meet with the gang before we go investigate?
What is our timing on this? Well, if we go meet with the gang, I would want to buy more guns first. Better guns first. So maybe we should investigate and see if we can find our dear Miss Soraya.
Soraya. Last name is Panakar.
Okay.
Maybe lining up having a chat with my sister about lined up having her crew that she runs with is possibly lined up being lined up running extra security for us for what we got planned. Would be something to consider.
She tells you the same thing as she said with the sniper or with the clinic job. Like, she's willing to come to bat to you for you and provide some sniper overwatch. If you want the crew, they're going to need to be paid.
Yeah, but I just figured that I would bring it up to the crew to our crew that maybe we should wind up having a few extra guns watching our back.
I don't know. If we have a bigger crew, then we make more noise, then we might become more noticeable, then we might get shot easier. And I think we've got this. And besides, all we're doing is we're going to go talk to Soraya.
Plus, that would mean we'd have to split any money even more ways.
Right. So, I think if we're just going to find her and talk to her, we don't really need backup for that.
Okay.
And if we could just not talk to her and just get her data and check her emails, that's fine too.
Yeah, we could absolutely try hacking and finding out what's going on first. We might not even have to talk to her if we do that.
I like not talking to people.
Yeah. Gotta do it every once in a while.
So, what is the game plan at the moment? What are we doing first?
I think we're gonna go to that district and see if we can find our dear friend. But
All
also, what time are we ending tonight? Just to be cognizant of that.
We've got time for effectively a light reconnaissance before
Okay.
any meeting. We'll do the actual meeting, or meetings. I don't know. Maybe the two meetings get combined, and then it's all just one big happy reunion. I don't know. But that will happen during the finale next week.
Okay, so let's do the
we're-
light reconnaissance then.
Okay, so we're doing light reconnaissance, and then the meeting with Soraya.
Well, we'll see what we can find out, and then decide if we want to confront her.
Okay.
But yes, that is the plan.
And so if we assume hypothetically that you get a date and time for a meeting with the Iron Sights, would you want to do that before or after you meet with Soraya?
After.
Okay.
Yeah, I think if we are going to do the meeting with the gang, we want some time to upgrade our weapons before we do so, which would be between sessions.
Sounds good to me. All right.
And I asked my sister if she knows anybody that would end up being honest with their dealings with weapons and armor instead of just going to someone random.
I mean, yeah, you've worked with my arms dealer before. You got their number. We can get you some good stuff.
Okay.
So you all head to the mega building. I forget which number this is. It's H something. It was built within the last 5 years. Things haven't started falling apart quite yet. And it's not the absolute latest where they started cheaping out on labor and materials. So it also hasn't started falling apart yet. All right. And I have JK on here just so that we're able to actually see the map. So you are brought to this mega tower, and you're going through the listing, and you notice that one of the apartments, it's showing a weird error because it's showing that it was rented, but there's no name listed on it. Like all the other apartments either have a person or a corporate code listed on there. Like if it's something that a corporation is renting out for somebody, they'll have the corporate code instead of the name on the lease. This is just saying leased, no information.
Okay.
Well, that's a big old red flag right there.
Is it?
It's either a trap or, why are they making it so obvious?
Maybe we should plug you in and see if we can find any more information about this place.
Right. Do you have your fire putter outer?
Oh, that's right. We were going to buy you a better deck, weren't we?
It's fine. But I'll stop, drop, and roll. Let's go ahead and I'm going to scan for an access point.
John, off the top of your head, this made up piece of gear, how much does it cost for a little mini fire extinguisher that has like 3 sprays in it?
Is there already one in this building that she can just be like...
Yeah, there's one that you can yank off a wall that somebody has not yet stolen.
All right, I'm ready.
Perfect.
I'm going to make one of those for next session.
Scanning for an access point.
Yeah, you're able to find a couple of different access points. The building's network has access points on every floor, so you're able to find one. And you could even be up or down a level or two and not draw immediate attention.
All right. So I don't want to be on the same level. We'll just go down a level just to like make
Okay.
sure that we're not being like super obvious.
Yep.
I'm going to run Pathfinder to try and get an architecture of this network.
All right. Are we going to do a randomly generated architecture? We might. We might just do a randomly generated net architecture.
Do it.
First 2 floors. All right. So the first thing that you come across is a password.
Let's see if I can just backdoor that.
You can indeed. The password, frustratingly simply, was not reset. It is password 123.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Can I change their password?
Sure. What do you want to change it to?
Make this harder. All caps.
All right. The next level, as you go up, is another password. It looks like the first password was just to get onto the network at all, and the next password is actually for the branch of the architecture that you need. All right. So with a crit fail, I don't know what that does. I don't know what that does.
I'm on fire.
I don't think so.
That would be bad.
Not yet. What happens on a crit? You would think I would have looked up what crit fails do in the system after last time, but no, I haven't. Yeah, nothing especially bad happens. You get the sense that the password did automatically get reset though, so the DV is going to be 1 higher.
Oh, perfect. Let's try it again.
12 is a bit higher than 9, so yeah, that gets through. And now you are in the leasing portion of the architecture.
Perfect.
All right.
So immediately scanning to see if there's anything under Shariah's name.
Well, we're not quite to a file yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So the first thing that we're going to come across is a skunk, which is... Let me... I did actually have that prepared. All right, so until the program is derezzed, let me just copy this. So until the program is derezzed, an enemy netrunner hit by this effect makes all slide checks at a -2. Each skunk black ice can only affect a single netrunner at a time, but the effects of multiple skunks can stack.
All right. So guess I just need to kill it.
Well, it is rolling this attack at you. Okay. And we did this entire thing last session, or first session, and I'm blanking on the response. It is... okay, so it's versus your interface plus D10. So just roll interface to defend. Yeah, it tries to hit you and misses. You can either slide past it or you can attack it.
Try and slide past it, even though that went horribly last time.
Okay.
Can I spend a point of luck?
The answer to that is yes. I need to look up what luck does.
Just adds a ranking to it.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you roll slide against its defense. So I believe you would need 2 points of luck to go past.
I don't know. Can I retroactively spend that?
No, it is only before you roll. But you did say before, so yeah, you can spend 2.
Okay. That. Perfect. Let's slide past this sucker.
All right. There's in looking through this network architecture, you know that there's one more layer of ice before you get to the actual file. And that layer is a hellhound.
No.
Oh, joy.
Yeah, the hellhounds are the fun one.
No, it says, get the fire extinguisher ready.
All right, so it immediately tries to attack. Roll your interface as defense. Tie goes to the defender. All right, so it tries to hit you and misses. You can either attack back or run.
Awesome.
Killing this thing.
All right, roll damage.
I'm tired of you guys.
All right. It takes 7 points of damage to its res. And it's going to attack on its turn.
Just a note, you see this face of like pure concentration.
All right, roll interface to defend.
I'm ready with my extinguisher.
Oh! Yeah, so you immediately get to strike back as if it was your turn. As if it was your turn, I should say.
Nice.
It's okay. I was practicing in virtual against these guys just to get a little bit of...
I mean, that was a bonus attack, so you can now take your turn.
Okay.
And it needs to fail to defend. Roll damage.
I was practicing.
It is glitched. There are chunks missing out of its code, but it is still in this. It is going to take one last flaming bite at you in net space. Roll defense. It does do its damage. So it does 10 damage directly to your brain. And we're going to need 1 point on the fire extinguisher. All right, so that is one use of the fire extinguisher gone. It is now back to your turn.
We learned this time.
I'm sorry. It's now back to your turn. I didn't see anything.
Did I not just roll a 1?
It's now back to your turn. I didn't see anything.
Oh, you didn't see anything?
No, that is significantly better.
Wow. Hero point.
Yeah.
What? No.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Hey, it rolled a 5 to defend. What do you know? It failed. Roll damage, please.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Can you roll
crit?
I don't think you can roll crit, but it is derezzed. It is wiped out of the server. And the...
Yes! Finally!
And the next layer of the architecture is... is going to be the file that you need. It is also password protected. It is going to require an interface roll to unlock, but it is not going to be difficult, and that is just enough.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, you get the file that you wanted, and sure enough, there is a corporate code behind the lease on the unlisted apartment.
Oh.
The apartment next to it, though, so that was the interested apartment was 28C. Apartment 28B is listed to a Sandy Parker.
Okay. Is there any other
And it was
information in the file about them?
the two leases were signed within about 5 minutes of each other. They were paid from different accounts, but payments on both accounts come through within 2 or 3 minutes of each other.
Can I note the account numbers? I'm just going to copy all the information that's
Yeah,
on this file.
you copy down all that information. You're able to trace it back. It is a shell account, basically. It is just a pass-through account to a corporate thing. Number identified only. You have to go through several. You could go through several layers of that if you want to, but I think you know where it's going to point. Where's it going to point?
Pointing back to Rocklin. Library. This is not working.
Possibly. Possibly. You know, the fact that she used her same initials on the fake lease probably didn't help.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So we think this apartment is Soraya's?
What about the apartment next to it? Why does she have two?
Panic room, misdirection, private security.
Data servers. I don't know. I'm going to cloak though to hopefully make it so that they don't know that I was here.
Yeah. You're reasonably sure that succeeded.
I love it when GMs say that.
Okay, so we found out that were both these apartments leased by the same people or different people? Sorry, I was.
Pretty sure it's the same person. I mean, you pay the rent within 5 minutes of each other, signed it within 5 minutes.
Okay. And was there a specific corporation linked back to?
It linked back to one of the banks that has done business. Like it's one of the banks that handles transfers for mega corporations, and this particular bank only identifies its accounts with numbers, but it is the same account in both cases.
So if we can find out who that account belongs to, then maybe we can find out who Soraya is working for. But there are two apartments, one with her initials, and are they next door to each other, on top of each other?
They're both next to each other. One is 28. The one with no name is apartment 28C. The apartment with the Sandy Parker name is 28B, as in boy.
So I think we either expect that there's some sort of connection or door between the two, and
I mean, why are we trailing? I guess to make sure that we stay alive, but
yeah, we're trying to convince her to stop hiring people to kill us. I think that it's worth more to her to keep us alive. I think that's what we're doing here. Because there's something fishy with this data, and we are one of the only persons who knows that she has it.
Who's in charge of the Rocklin Clinic right now?
The St. Marco Clinic. It's an independent clinic. It's it's kind of held in a community trust. It's a weird situation, but that has been useful for it to attract mega corporations to run their trials there, basically. So it functions as its own independent entity, and basically any mega corporation that wants to run a clinical trial that might actually fit within the clinic's remit can use the clinic's facilities to do that.
Okay.
So basically,
So, like,
Rocklin was
rent
renting
out the
space.
lab.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was wondering if it's public knowledge that Sarai was let go.
Yeah, you saw the news report.
Yeah. I wonder if we could go in as like a member of media and just kind of see. I mean, we saw the news report, so we know why they're saying that she was let go.
Yeah, also, she knows our faces.
Right.
So if she's in there.
I'm just wondering about the clinic itself.
Well, are we going to go in? Are we going to chat with her about the Dead Man Switch and the release of data?
Oh, we're just going to go knock on her door?
We could try and sneak in. Break in, do some reconnaissance. Find out more about who is in there and what we're doing.
All right. I like this plan.
Okay.
Well, I was going to end up suggesting if we landed up if the windows on the outside were mirrored windows to land up keeping somebody from looking into it, and I was going to suggest land up possibly seeing if we could get access to a couple of aerial drones to land up taking a look at and get an idea of possibly what's actually in the apartment instead of going up to the apartment, opening up the door, and then we end up finding out that we're facing off against a fire team or a squad of debriefers lining up looking to make a name for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, that will probably be part of our reconnaissance. Does this building have windows we can see through?
It is up on the 28th floor, and no building within the area is up like above 15 floors.
Okay.
So you
Let's
would
go knock.
you would need an AV or drones or something like Ty suggested to get up to the windows. If you choose to go that route, then we'll cut it here, and you can do that purchase because it will be a purchase during the break.
I guess let's just do some basic reconnaissance around the area and the floor and see just like the basics of what we're working with.
All right, roll me perception. If you have any other skill that you think would be relevant to the surveillance, go ahead and roll that.
JK, I'm just saying, if we just knock and if she's not there and we happen to unlock her door.
Oh no, yeah, we can absolutely do that. That's part of what we're perceiving to see.
Oh, okay.
We can find out if there's anyone home.
Yes. Right. I like where we're going with this.
I think you clicked lip reading.
Oh.
So Note is watching.
Something.
There's one of the screens has been hacked so that instead of playing a constant stream of advertisements, it's in fact showing one of the 3 or 4 different telenovela shows. Telenovela channels. But it's just far enough away that you can't hear any of it, and it's not running any subtitles, so you're using your lip reading to find out the scandalous details of the romance between Jose and Martin.
Jose, Martin, queridos.
There's always a couple slaps, right?
And there's the perception roll. Okay, yeah. So you spend 2 or 3 hours each on or around the floor looking to see what the activity is like.
Shadow, do you want to roll something?
Yeah, I'm going to pay attention to Linda if there's any really people that look like they're undercover security that's trying to land up acting like that, but that are lined up with my particular skills lined up out of place is what I'm paying attention for.
Cool.
All right.
Nice.
Are there-
Shadow.
Oh,
All right. So you're, like I said, you are watching for 2 or 3 hours, and you don't notice any. You don't notice anybody standing around that would like scream corporate security. In fact, you don't notice anybody standing around, which in the mega buildings you've come to understand is kind of unusual. Like almost always there's going to be somebody just kind of using this as their front yard, basically. Just kind of loafing around. There's nobody active on this floor, except for like people going directly from the elevator or the stairs to their apartments, or directly from their apartments to the elevator or stairs. About an hour and a half into your surveillance, there is a food delivery. The driver or rider, whatever, the delivery person, sets the bag of food down in front of the apartment with the with no name on the lease. And nobody comes out to pick it up.
No activity from the other apartment on this co-lease agreement.
If there is, you're not seeing it. The doors are closed. There are no windows from the inside of the building to the apartments, and
So other than the food delivery, there's been no activity to either one of those apartments then, right?
and there's no indication that the food delivery is received either.
are there security cameras
Can I use,
on the floor?
None that are functional. You look over at one, and you see that it has been spray painted a lovely shade of blue. And you look over at the other, and it is hanging by one sparking cable.
Can I use my micro zoom to see if there's a name on that food delivery? Because I have an eye.
Yeah. That's going to be another perception roll.
Okay. Provides up to 400 times magnification. I see nothing.
Can I just go pick up the food?
Yeah.
So you try to zoom in, but this is actually your first time using the zoom function in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, when you're using a camera and you just zoom in way too far and it's wobbling all over the place, that's kind of what's going on. You go over, you go over and you pick up the food, and that sure is a fake name on that order. That is sure as hell a Jane Doe.
Is it actually food?
Yeah, somebody got shawarma.
Okay, well, I'm gonna eat it.
A single order, or is it like a family order? Just for the sake of clarifying if the order was for a single person or if it was for more than one.
Yeah, how much food is in there?
It looks like 2 different meals.
All right, instead of eating it, I'm gonna pick up the bag and I'm gonna knock on the door.
Ooh.
You knock on the door.
I've moved
first.
up with Note just out of range of the door.
I'm going to call a stop to any adjustments. You have knocked on the door.
But Note has tech hair. They're quickly going to change the color of their hair.
All right, last adjustment. You change the color of your hair. You knock on the door. You hear the bolt of a rifle cocked.
I don't like that.
And the door slides open. And that's where we're going to call it for tonight. So, thank you all for watching tonight. Thank you also to Dux and to Brainy for your contributions tonight. We do really appreciate those. If you want to support QualmarCon between now and next session, which is going to be next Monday, you can donate at the Ko-fi link down at the bottom of the screen, kofi.com/Rogue Sparrow Games. Just as a reminder, $1 gets you a shout out in the credits. $5 gets you a PDF of the character sheets for our 4 characters. $10 gets you the PDF of the adventure as well as a one-on-one character creation session with me in any system that you like. And if you donate before next session, you get the opportunity to name and design an NPC that will appear in that final session. And the grand tier, the $50 tier, is if you donate $50 or more, you will also get the opportunity to play that character in that finale session. Again, that can only be redeemed before next session, because obviously if you donate during, I don't have a way to get you on screen. With that said, let's go around the table real quick. Sam, where can folks find you? What other projects are we working on?
Hello, I am Sam. Played Note tonight. You can't really find me anywhere right now. Just on Twitter at Sammy Scribbles, but currently I'm just doing indie game reviews and hanging out with my friends like John and over here on Rogue Sparrow Games. So, you know, if you are wanting somebody that is super extra on a game, just hit me up because I am starting to have time now. So,
is your hair changing colors?
It is.
Oh my god, that's so cool!
Wait, what?
That is so cool.
I have tech hair. I said.
Hair.
Yeah, but I didn't think that was in real life.
Well, I have to be extra, as I said.
Apparently.
So.
All right, Ty, where can people find you?
Oh my
god. I am Ty. People can end up finding me on my Twitter at Typhonus, or land up through my blog, which is Starheart Nexus, which is WordPress through WordPress under Starheart Nexus is where my blog is. And as far as this week goes, the only other actual stream game is on the 29th. I'll be lining up doing an actual playtest that will be a stream game for an upcoming RPG that's lining up being released in the future that
awesome.
I got an opportunity to end up being a GM for. That's my only activity this week in between now and the next session that's lining up going on.
All right. And Shay, where can we find you?
Hi, I'm Shay. You can find me here next week on Monday, and you can also find me here on some Fridays playing Pathfinder with the lovely John. I am also on Facebook at Shay Jenkins Cosplay. I am on Instagram at ShayJBD, which is the same as what I am here. Yeah, but mostly you can find me having a grand old time on this stream.
All right. And again, I'm John. I've been your game master tonight. You can find me on Twitter at RSG_TTV, or basically anywhere else as Rogue Sparrow Games. Facebook, Instagram, here on Twitch. As Shay just mentioned, the other thing that we do on this channel is we do run Pathfinder Society. Assuming I don't have another mental collapse, we'll be back this Friday with the Blooming Catastrophe. And that will be Friday at 7 p.m.
For real this time, super serial.
For real this time, the fourth time that I've tried to run it, you know. It's been a thing. But whether or not that happens, we will be back on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern for the grand finale of the Rocklin Clinic Job. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We hope you enjoyed yourselves. And until next time, don't make any deals with corpse.